Ever get that feeling like social media has gotten eerily good at predicting your next move?
Mm-hmm.
Like it's reading your mind, knowing exactly what to show you?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not alone. Today, we're taking a deep dive into the fascinating and maybe slightly unnerving world of social media algorithms, the invisible forces shaping your entire online experience. We're going beyond the basics you already know to uncover some real aha moments.
Absolutely. It's time to pull back the curtain and understand not just what these algorithms are, but how they're impacting us. The good, the bad, and everything in between.
So, no need to explain what an algorithm is. We've all heard that term thrown around.
Right.
But what I'm really curious about is how they go from a bunch of code to seeming like they know me better than my best friend.
It's all about the data.
Mhm.
And these platforms are collecting a ton of it. Think of it like a giant feedback loop. Every click, every second you spend watching a video, it all gets fed into the algorithm.
Okay, so it's not magic. It's just really, really good data analysis.
Exactly. They're tracking things like your past actions,
Mm.
what posts you've liked, shared, or commented on.
Uh-huh.
It's how they gauge what you're interested in. And then there's content relevance, keywords, hashtags, topics you frequently engage with.
It's kind of like they're building a digital profile of you based on your online behavior.
Yes,
A little creepy, but also impressive.
right. And this is where things get really sophisticated. It's not just about what you're doing, but what everyone else is doing too. Remember when Facebook shifted to prioritize posts from friends and family over businesses?
Oh, yeah, everyone panicked, especially businesses.
Rightfully so. But what's really interesting is what happened next. See, Facebook's algorithm change wasn't just about showing you more baby pictures. It tapped into something much deeper, our innate desire for connection.
That's fascinating. So they're not just analyzing data, they're analyzing human psychology.
Precisely. They're constantly testing and tweaking to see what keeps users engaged. And sometimes those changes, like prioritizing personal connections, can have a ripple effect on our behaviors in ways we might not even realize.
It makes you wonder about the ethics of it all, doesn't it? But we can save that conversation for another time. So we've talked about past actions, content relevance. What else are these algorithms gobbling up?
Well, there's the whole freshness factor. Algorithms love to serve up piping hot content, which is why staying consistent with your posting schedule is crucial. And then there's engagement, those likes, shares, and especially comments. A post with tons of interaction sends a strong signal to the algorithm that it's something people want to see.
So the more engagement a post gets, the more it snowballs.
Exactly. And then, of course, there's the you factor. They're looking at your demographics, age, location, even your online habits. It all gets added to your digital profile, making the algorithm smarter and more personalized over time.
So it sounds like these algorithms are constantly analyzing, evolving, and, let's be honest, sometimes manipulating our behavior.
Right.
But before we all delete our social media accounts and move to a deserted island, let's talk about the flip side.
Right, because as much as we might complain about the downsides, these algorithms aren't inherently evil.
Okay.
In fact, they can be incredibly useful when used strategically.
Okay, I'm all ears. Tell me how I can make these algorithms work for me instead of the other way around.
It starts with understanding that you're not just a passive consumer of content, you're a creator.
Right.
And as a creator, you have a certain amount of influence over how the algorithm sees you, and by extension, how it promotes your content.
Okay, so how do I become an algorithm influencer instead of the other way around?
It's all about sending the right signals.
Okay.
For starters, remember what we said about engagement.
Uh-huh.
The more people who interact with your content, like it, comment on it, share it, the more the algorithm takes notice. It's like a vote of confidence, telling the algorithm, hey, this content is valuable, show it to more people.
So it's not just about posting into the void.
Right.
It's about sparking conversations and building a community around your content.
Precisely. Think about the content that makes you want to engage.
Yeah.
It's usually something thought-provoking, entertaining, or informative, right? Channel that energy into your own content creation.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
So engagement is key. What else can we do to catch the algorithm's eye?
Hashtags.
Right.
They're not just for show.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
right.
using relevant hashtags is like categorizing your content,
Okay.
making it easier for the algorithm to deliver it to the right audience. Think of them as little signposts guiding people to your corner of the internet.
So the more specific and relevant the hashtags, the better.
Exactly. It's about finding that sweet spot between broad reach and niche targeting.
And what about consistency? You mentioned that earlier. How important is it to post regularly? And what happens if we miss a day or two?
Consistency is key, but Um, it's not about giving the algorithm a panic attack if you take a day off.
Right.
It's more about establishing a rhythm, a predictable presence. Think of it like building a campfire. You need to keep adding fuel to keep those flames burning bright.
So regular posting is like adding fuel to the algorithmic fire. I like that analogy.
Exactly. And the great thing is these platforms provide you with the tools to measure how effectively you're keeping those flames alive. That's where analytics come in.
Right. Becoming a data detective. Tell me more about that. What kind of data should we be looking at?
It's about tracking the metrics that matter most for your goals. Are you looking to increase brand awareness, drive traffic to your website, or spark conversations? Each goal has specific metrics that can help you understand what's resonating with your audience and, more importantly, what the algorithm is rewarding.
So it's not just about vanity metrics like likes and followers. It's about understanding the deeper story behind the numbers.
Absolutely. Those vanity metrics can be a nice ego boost, but they don't always translate to meaningful results.
Yeah.
Focus on the metrics that align with your overall objectives. And don't be afraid to experiment. See what works and adjust your strategy accordingly.
It sounds like the world of social media algorithms is a constantly evolving game. How do we stay ahead of the curve and avoid getting blindsided by the next big algorithm update?
That's the million-dollar question. It's true that these platforms can be tight-lipped about their algorithm changes, but here's the good news. You don't need insider access to stay informed.
Okay, so how do we become algorithm whisperers without, actually being employed by Facebook or TikTok?
Keep your ear to the ground.
Right?
Pay attention to industry news, blogs, and podcasts.
Right.
There's some fantastic resources out there that break down these complex updates in a way that's easy to understand and, dare I say, even enjoyable.
Right. We'll be sure to link to some of our favorites in the show notes. What else?
Don't underestimate the power of observation. Pay attention to what's happening in your own feed. Are you seeing more video content? Are certain types of posts getting more engagement than others? These subtle shifts can often be early indicators of broader algorithm changes.
So be observant. Got it. Anything else?
Embrace the learning process. The world of social media is constantly evolving, which can feel overwhelming at times. But it also keeps things interesting. The key is to stay curious, experiment, and never stop learning.
This has been an incredible deep dive into the world of social media algorithms. I feel like I've gained valuable insights that I can put into practice right away. Any final words of wisdom for our listeners before we wrap things up?
Remember, while algorithms might seem mysterious and even intimidating at times, they're ultimately tools. And like any tool, you can learn to use them to your advantage. So stay informed, stay engaged, and most importantly, stay curious.
Great advice. That's it for this deep dive into the world of social media algorithms. We hope you've enjoyed the journey and come away feeling empowered to navigate the ever-changing landscape of social media. Until next time.